So I've got some breaking news for you coming from Anfield Watch and Sam Maguire. Breaking news is Paris Saint-Germain are all in on Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool won't break the bank to retain their captain, but they do want him to stay. A pre-tax offer of €80 million spread over 2 years with a potential third season is what Paris are offering, with a hefty signing on bonus taking the initial proposal to about €100 million. So they go and say Anfield Watch understands that money is not a motivating factor for Virgil. Late last year, a new deal with Liverpool appeared to be a formality, with Van Dijk happy on Merseyside in the post-Jurgen Klopp world. He may still remain at the club, but PSG sense there's an opportunity to bring the world's best centre-back to the club. So, is anyone surprised? Because you've seen Virgil talking to the president of Paris Saint-Germain after the Champions League game. And like I always say to you guys, I don't believe in coincidences, so let's wait and see what happens. If Virgil goes, Mo goes and Trent goes, I have serious concerns. Very, very big concerns for next season. It doesn't feel to me now that we're getting towards the end of the season and the league's nearly wrapped up and the narrative's starting to shift. It certainly looks a lot clearer now that they never really had real desire to negotiate to save these lads' careers at Liverpool. It feels to me like they're being shown the door now. But they had to keep the pretense up while the competitions were still all live, while we were still in the Champions League, or while the cup final still had to be played. Now it feels like all of a sudden narratives are starting to shift and there's an acceptance that they're going to go. And that, as a fan, is what winds me up. Because, be honest with us. I've said this all season. Just be honest with us. If Trent's going, if Virgil's going, if Mo's going, if you don't want to renew those lads, be upfront and say it. Don't lie and manipulate and try to say like, oh, we're trying everything. Liverpool are optimistic behind the scenes. Club sources say this, that or the other. It's always been bullshit. It doesn't take 9 months to sort out contracts if you want to get it done. I've repeated this same thing all year. And I get that people are optimistic and people want these things to happen. But you also have to look at the history of these owners to see that they're very manipulative. And I've said this all the way through. It's a battle for hearts and minds. And now it's going to be who gets vilified. Who gets vilified when Mo leaves, or if Virgil leaves, or if Trent leaves? It's going to be them. Leach said, the word replacements, FSG, how have we allowed this to happen? Salah has given everything to the club and has been loyal along with VVD. And yes, and my annoyance here is, if you don't want them to stay, be honest. And that's the problem I have, Leach. If I'm Virgil or Mo right now, I'm extremely annoyed. Because it's pretty clear that you don't want them to stay. But you've led this pretense all year of wanting them to, we're trying to. Lowball offers, the offer's still on the table, the offer's still there. It's all very straightforward and clear to me. And I think to a lot of other people now, that there was never a real desire to get it done. Because if they really wanted it done, they'd have got it done. Now my concern now is what happens with Canada as an example. Right. Cal said, with these contracts we've put ourselves in a terrible negotiating position. 3 to leave and the market knows we're desperate to replace. Price goes up. Absolutely, Cal. It's basic stuff, isn't it? You know, if you know someone's desperate, like if you're selling a car and the guy or the girl comes to look at your car and goes, Jason, my engine blew up on my other car and I need to be in work tomorrow morning and just been an awful stress. You know, if you're selling that car to that guy, they're not leaving there without that car, so you're not budging on the price that you have on it. And this is the situation we find ourselves in. They know we're going to sell on Darwin because he's not worked. They know the contract situation probably means we have to invest. And like you've obviously said, yes, they're going to demand top dollar for that. But this is what happens without succession planning. If you'd want to do it all in one window, then you best be willing to pay up and pay what it takes to get it done. Stephen Iron said, Craig, even if all 3 go, I still think we'll win 2 more trophies next year. I don't know, mate. I can't confidently predict or deny what we do next year because I've no idea what way the squad's going to look. I can tell you one thing. If Virgil goes, I have serious doubts about what we can achieve next year, regardless of what the rest of the business is. For me, the club can't let Virgil go. They just can't. We need to keep him for 2 more years and then bring through another centre-back this summer as well, and see what happens. Because Gomez probably going to want to go, and look, Arne Slot doesn't really trust him, so maybe he should be sold. Then you've got Kwanzaa, Virgil for another 2 years. You'd need to bring in 2 more centre-backs then. So say Schlotterbeck and somebody else. And then we'd be probably okay. And then you plan for Virgil leaving in a year or 2. Just my take on it though. Sunday also proved Trent's importance to this team. Did it? Genuinely, I'm not trying to agree or disagree. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't think Kwanzaa was skinned. I don't see it. Other than maybe Trent finds a pass over the top or a long ball that one of the other lads couldn't do. I don't think it really showed one way or the other about Trent. I'm not saying it showed we're better off without him, but I don't know if it showed the other side of it either. What I would say, AD, is being in this situation where the club have allowed a 26-year-old local boy to run his contract down to nothing and leave an academy graduate that would have been 100% profit for the club had they sold him to go out the door for nothing is tantamount to dereliction of duty from the sporting director and the one that came before him. That is just a decision that there is no rationale that will explain away that decision. You can talk about Virgil and Mo and their age. That kind of gives you at least an arguing point for them maybe going. But allowing Trent to get to here, that's just taking your eye off the ball. And that's cost millions to the club. Why will the guys sign contracts now when they have had the entire season to sign? Just a thought. I've said all the way through the year, Dave, I've never seen a desire from the club to keep them. Because if you really wanted them to stay, you'd get it done early. Or you'd get it done before the cup final. Like, imagine we went out on Tuesday to PSG and we're all on Wednesday disappointed. Then Thursday comes around and the club announced they've agreed to deal with their captain to stay for 2 more years. Are you telling me that wouldn't have given a big boost going into the cup final and maybe wiped away some of the disappointment? So if they had have wanted to do it, I felt like there were times in the season, Dave, where it would have been the right time to really go all in to do it. But they've never really shown that desire. So I've never believed they are going to really try. I feel like they've thrown out a cheap offer that if the lads have accepted, they would have said, fine, fair enough, let's keep them on. But I never felt they were going to pay them what they're worth. And as soon as that Egyptian journalist said that the offer he'd seen for Mo from Liverpool was substantially less than what he's currently on, that told me all I needed to know. That they're cheaping out here and they're just basically trying to say, well, we tried, but we couldn't reach an agreement. It's like me saying, I put in an offer on £1 million house up the road. I offered 200 grand, but I put in an offer and that offer's on the table. And if you change your mind, that offer's right there, even though you know that's not the market value. Phil said, how empty will it feel when Mo and VVD lift the title with a slap in the face from Liverpool? Thanks for the title, now F off. Lack of courtesy from FSG. It'll hurt seeing imagine, like, we're going to see Virgil van Dijk lift the Premier League trophy and potentially go. You're going to see Mo maybe have statistically the best season of his career, including assists and whatnot, and then go. So yeah, it's going to hurt a lot, Phil, a lot, mate. But you and I can't control this situation. I have a bee in my bonnet about fans being manipulated and our emotions being used. And there's 2 things I don't understand in football. That, fans being treated like idiots and manipulated. And why footballers are happy to take all the praise and money that comes along with positive publicity, but can't be called out for anything. So let's use Trent as an example. How many times has Trent's born and bred Scouser stuff made him money? You know, big partnerships with Adidas and all this other stuff. A local boy, born and bred, you know, loads of marketing and money and sponsorship and brand deals and all this other stuff that came along with being the Scouts' heart of the team. But when he doesn't decide that he wants to stay and doesn't have the balls to front up and be honest, all of a sudden he can't be criticised for that. Why? He's made the decision. He's not being upfront about it. And that's what annoys me. If Trent had to come out in January and said, I'm off to Madrid, this is a decision and an opportunity I couldn't turn down, I feel like we'd all be hurt, but we'd go, right, look, he's made his decision, we know what we're dealing with. But scoring goals and going up the cameras, giving it this bollocks, and then looking like he's about to head off anyway, that to me is a slap in the face. And it really annoys me. And I can't lie about that. It pisses me off massively because I think it's a cowardly act.